Hello, and welcome to another session of San Francisco by Night. The year is 2077. The world has changed. Technology has soared into the heavens, and mankind has flourished. Underneath the world of mankind, though, lies a darker world. A world that most don't ever see. That world has found a way to blend into society for many years now. The increase in technology and the ability to do supernatural, shall we say, feats of technology alone has made supernatural very easy to hide. However, this does not mean that it is perfect. There are flaws in the masquerade still, to this day. And sometimes those flaws, when broken through, can cause massive problems. Our story today will take place the next night over, after the last little instant with the gang known as the Blood Dogs, and some well armored and informed military grade suspects that the characters found out were Task Force Valkyrie. I will now begin the scene in Section 9, wherever the characters may wish to be. Or the characters may be at home, or at the college, or anywhere they so choose. Section 9 would simply make the most sense.
Yeah, given the events of the previous night with Bowser and the Blood Dogs, I'd say we'd be kind of trading notes after that incident.
Depends on the time of the day.
It is 7 o'clock at night. Most of the kindred have only been awake for an hour or just now waking up.
So Gabrielle could be at section 9. She usually go to work when it's later.
I was gonna roll a 1d3 to see where I was at.
Go ahead and roll one.
Okay, number 1 is home, 2 is section 9, 3 is the office. I'm at the office.
Okay. So for anyone at Section 9 who wishes to compare notes, I'll let you guys do a little roleplay scene, and then I will punch in for the people who are not there.
Gives me a chance to make coffee.
Jared would likely be in the break room. He's not always in his lair. Especially after that, we had learned where the HQ of the Blood Dogs was, and saw some clear breaches of the masquerade. Not just like these crazy armed guys, but at least through Anne and Marcus's eyes, uh, he saw another of those large creatures. The last one we met was named Eddie, so we've just been calling them Eddies. That alone is a pretty big threat. The last one wasn't exactly easy to put down, and this one is even more resistant to damage, at least in appearances. So, yeah, anyone who's
You're sitting
chilling at Section 9.
you're sitting around a table actually with a very large portion of people.
Okay.
Some of them you've seen before, some of them you haven't. They're mostly just other NPCs that work at Section 9, other supernaturals. And a lot of them are going over the photos, video footage, and anything that you guys have done. There are maps laid out over across the city, and people are kind of scrambling about to try and figure out what the hell.
Is this like what's the energy here? Is it panicked? Is it serious? Is it
Think of not to symbolize what is exactly going to happen, because it may not, because it might still take a night or two to get everything ready, but think of a SWAT team before going out on a mission.
so pretty serious? Maybe a little bit of camaraderie happening. All right.
Mhm.
So you said there's quite a few people then, just shuffling about.
Some
Any
are shuffling
faces that I
about.
recognize?
Yeah, Doc Holliday, Jen, Doomguy. I think you met Jack once or twice. Yeah, you definitely met Jack. Although Jack's not doing too good because he took Paradox, so he is kind of over in the chair.
Yeah, Gerald kind of gave him the old two-finger salute and nod because he was seeing all that shit happen and was kind of in on the conversation even if he wasn't there. So it's just kind of like, hey, you all right there, bud?
And then let's see. You notice a very young man, probably not more than maybe 21, 22, who is wearing actually kind of a similar getup to you, and he just has his hoodie over his head. He's a new face, but there's a lot of new faces around here, that seems to just be sitting looking at one of the 3D sketches of the um, it's a 3D portrait of the city sewerscape, also with the skyscapes, because there's different layers to the city now. So in 2060, when the city expanded to a massive amount, there is now an upper layer, a middle layer, a ground layer, and 2 sewer layers of actual living before you get down into the actual sewers, per se, especially deep in the city. And there are several maps that are kind of designed to be 3D layer from top to bottom.
All right. So all these new faces looking at the 3D map. We got 3 above ground layers, 2 underground layers, and this guy who apparently looks a lot like Jared. So
Yeah, he's wearing a similar getup. He's got like just kind of a hoodie on, and that's really it. He's got jeans, normal looking shoes, some maybe black gloves on.
and he's in section 9. All right.
Mhm.
So I'll approach him and what does family resemblance tell me he is?
He's a werewolf.
Okay.
He
I
looks.
don't encounter tons of these, but I probably know roughly what he is.
Yep, he looks up at you, sniffs. Oh, you're one of those. I see. He holds out his hand.
I'll shake it, and as I do, I'll ask for his name.
Zach Morris. And yes, I share the last name with Jack over there. He thought it would be hilarious to name me after his name in a rhyme. Zach and Jack.
Yeah, I get it.
Thank goodness he spared my sister that same fate. Sarah. He shrugs. I haven't seen you around here before, but I've heard a lot about you, so I've been a little bit absent doing with other business. So.
It's generally my job not to be seen, so I'll take that as a compliment.
Indeed. I've actually been here several days, and this is the first day I've seen you, so.
Well, we've all got our duties, I guess. I'm really only here because of mutual interests.
Indeed. I just got here back from Chicago, and that was ugh. I swear, even with flight traffic, getting out of that city takes 2 hours. After thinking in your head just on a quick little reference note, San Francisco is indeed a large city on the West Coast, especially in the year 2077 with the mass expansion that happened. Chicago is 4 times the size.
All right.
He looks at you and he says, I'm going to need a bit of a someone who knows how to get in and out of somewhere without being seen.
Why?
I know that this whole blood dog situation is bad, but unfortunately we can't really move in until we know more. This is a very dangerous situation. However, the cultist problem, I may have a slight, shall we say, edge to. We discovered where one of their holding facilities was, and I figured take a small team and get do a little B&E and basically hack into their system, because we know that they have a computer system there that has a remote, shall we say, hard drive that they've been using to shield themselves from any of our technological, shall we say, savvy people.
Hmm. That's potentially good news.
Indeed, we can actually strike a pretty decent blow to these cultists and hopefully deal with them at this moment. Not to mention, their activity has gone down quite a bit since you and your others did some significant damage to them last time.
Just to be clear, the cultists are the same people we fought, like a character, in the warehouse and at the occult shop, or are these two different groups of people?
No, same people. Just don't get
Okay.
them mixed up with the Blood Dogs, because they're not the Blood
Yeah.
Dogs.
Yeah, they're the people with the deep ones in Cthulhu ship.
Yep. They were the
Okay.
ones who were kidnapping people.
Yeah.
And then you
So
guys
the werewolves
put a stop to that. So
discovered one of the cultists holding places, and they want to get in and potentially hack their system.
I am not a part of the local Ironbloods. They have enough to deal with around here. But you can bet they're definitely stirring.
So you want my help getting you in there, or is this about the blood dogs?
This is about the cultists.
Okay, just making sure. It seemed like it was just a tangent, like he was giving me this information, but he wanted my help with that. Like, I don't know, it's fine. So, they want me to open the door for a cultist holdout. Alright.
Yes, so to speak. I think a team of 4 or 5 would be appropriate.
Alright. Do I get to pick the team?
Yes. You are specialized in this particular set of fields, so I will trust your judgment in this, as am I, but nonetheless, you've been in the city a bit longer than I have. Like I said, I just got back, and I think you have a better idea and judgment than what I do.
Very well. I'm gonna pull out my cell phone. I'm gonna use my direct dial merits, and I'm in a conference call with Brooke, Marcus, Anne's unfortunately not here. So
She will be soon, so we'll just say
Okay.
we'll say that she's in the background.
Yeah, basically those three. And then I'd be the fourth, and I'm assuming the werewolf would want to be the fifth. Like he's gonna want to come along or something to verify that we actually did.
Yeah, he nods.
Okay.
So Marcus Irons and Brooke Castles, you get a call on your phone.
Marcus, who is just who can be found in the dark alleyway, has just finished his round of feeding for the night. It was reasonably successful, and suddenly gets a conference call, and He clicks the green button and goes, "Irons here."
You know, I got some furries that want me to open a door. Sorry.
Furries? He
It was a
says with a
terrible
lot
joke
of
to make.
disbelief.
Yeah, Jared's just like, you know who? They want me to open a door, and they said I can pick the team. You in or out?
What is it about? Intel, please.
Same people at the warehouse that you and I were up against. You know, we kind of lost our minds there. I get that. If you're
You
out, I
son of a
understand.
bitch. I'm in.
What about, the other two are also on this call, so
Yeah, I'm here.
okay.
You're calling me?
Yeah, it was a conference call, so you're all kind of there, just all at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was I not? Thought that was clear. Sorry. So yeah,
I
you
honestly,
just
I
kind
wasn't particularly listening. So
Okay.
Brooke's like, oh fuck, I had a whole thing if you're gonna call individually, but fine. I guess I'll just throw away roleplay for your lazy piece of shit ass and say sure.
Hey, he
Fuck
went
you.
through, explained everything, and said, "Hey, you in or out? I get it if you're out because this shit happened last time." So, and he's no problem saying that right in front of the werewolf. Like, yeah, that was a rough.
Oh, here's the
Make
thing.
sure he knows what he's in for too. You
I
know?
have a mathematical benefit for saying I'm in, and that's I get my willpower back. So I'm in.
Not so.
Alright.
If you're gonna throw a fit and whine, I'm gonna put you in the corner and kick you in the balls.
Whoa, man.
Ha! Joke's on you. I'm into that shit.
Well, okay then. You have chosen death.
No.
Bonk, go
Fine.
to horny jail. Let's move on.
All right. So, Gabriella, I'll say that you and your crew are currently outside watching this place right now, since they found it out. Since you were actually having them investigate in, and one of your crewmates rolled 8 successes. So, I'll say that you and your crew is sitting out kind of watching or camping the place, shall we say? Because this was known to be a cultist possible lair. So going back to the video conference call, you guys have said you're in, and you've been told the information. So Brooke, regain a willpower.
Oh wait. Oh, that's right. I also have to kill these fuckers for other reasons. I have a lot of reasons to kill these fuckers.
I would probably be raising the boneyard to see the whole architecture of the place and see if there are secret entrances and things of the sort.
Yeah, you'll get a whole map. Gabriella, I'm gonna need you to. What is your? What's your power stat alone?
Synergy is 1 unless I'm following my touchstone, which is kind of making good whether it's wrong. So if I am trying to
Well, like, what's
protect
your? For example, vampires, it's blood potency. For
my
werewolves, it's
synergy.
primal.
My synergy is 1,
Okay.
but if I'm following my touchstone, it's 2.
And what is your presence?
My presence is 4.
Let's see, 1, 2, so 5, 6. So that will be. Okay, 2 hits. It goes off. Gabriella, for one of the first times in that you can remember, your boneyard does not work. However, you're able to get a 3D. You're kind of able to get a map of the foyer, but the moment you try to go into this building to use your boneyard, you know what it does? It just kind of boing off this weird, almost sponge-like feeling. When you reach out with your boneyard, your senses tend to envelop and enwrap and slowly raise over an area, which gives you the ability to know what's going on. However, in this particular case, it feels as if though the moment your abilities reach out, there's something almost sponge-like or rubbery and it prevents you from going in any further.
Can I try to roll occult to have an idea about what's happened?
Yeah,
And
sure.
I have a specialty
Actually,
in the other roll.
you would actually probably know what this actually is. Roll me intelligence occult, and specialty would apply. Yes.
Six successes.
You're not using roll 20 anymore? Yeah, man. Okay.
All right. Yep. She rules in roll 20. Okay. Successes. Gabriella, this actually might be anemia.
I'm gonna look into the twilight to
You
see maybe if I can find a source of it.
okay? You open your eyes and you see the twilight in all its infinite glory.
What do I see?
You see some spirits around here and there around this building. However, the most odd thing that you see is you've seen ectoplasm both in the physical sense and in the spiritual sense. This building appears to be covered in some kind of substance that is similar, but this is something you've never seen before. You can guess that it may be ectoplasm or it may be some kind of energy, you're not entirely sure. However, you've never seen this much surrounding a building before.
Ghost nut.
So this basically to Gabriella, that's something that her crew brought her there, not Section 9, right?
Yes, however, you are communicating in on Section 9's kind of, shall we say, feed, and you did just get a message that possible location of cultists found. And you have a guess that this building might become that of something interest in a bit. One of
Okay.
your crew, one of your computer techs, I've forgotten her name, but she comes up next to you. She says, "Hey, it's kind of cold out today. See anything? Pop it up."
I would just look at her a little bit worried and say, I guess that area is claimed, and judging by the fact that I see plasma around, might be another Sin Eater or something similar, maybe even more dangerous. Yes, we're gonna need bigger guns. Gonna see if I call the Section 9 guys and explain to them the situation.
Okay, you get on your phone and you call your expert at Section 9. Going back to the other crew, Jared, Brooke, and Marcus, and of course Anna when she gets here. You all head out to the location, and on the way, Zach gets a call on his headset. He says, "Right, we'll go ahead and patch Gabriella through because apparently she is watching the building, and there's a bit of a problem with it." You eventually all fly out to the building about a block away on another rooftop, and you can see the warehouse from across the street. This is an older part of San Francisco, kind of in the slum area where the homeless have made almost a little miniature city in and of themselves. It is run down, downtrodden, completely littered with trash, and it's much like Hill Valley. But you all arrive on the rooftop looking out over the building. What looks to be what used to be an old library that has now been converted into either a living space or maybe a warehouse. You're not entirely sure.
I try to check if some sort of curse have been cast on the building with my curse mount, maybe making a clash of words.
I'll let you decide what this means, but I'm gonna give you an interesting answer. Yes and no. And that's precisely what it feels like when you look at it.
Then I'm just gonna prepare myself using the shroud on the call, so I'll and the range, so I'll be ready if Section 9 decides to get in. Gabrielle will basically already have everything she have.
All right.
Yeah.
The werewolf known as Zach looks at you, Jared, and he's like, "All right, do your magic. I'll be monitoring and aiding if I can." And he takes his foot and he walks sideways, and he steps into the Umbra.
Oh yeah.
He can just do that. He could just
that's the werewolf thing, yeah.
Yep.
walks over, just waves a hand in the air.
Yeah, it almost looks
No,
like
no dramatic portals. Just
For a changeling, it almost looks like he steps behind a veil, but he's not there anymore. So he literally does what's called sidestepping, and he sidesteps straight into the spirit world.
no dramatic hole punching. No,
Nope.
having to click your heels 3 times. Just okay. That's-
Gural, the werebears, they actually punch a hole before they have to go in. But werewolves, they just step sideways. Basically,
Who's saying
for free.
that?
No, that's just something I'm saying out of character.
They have
Oh,
to,
I was doing all this in character. I know werewolves can do
Yeah.
this. It's just Brooke is
Alright.
like,
Yeah, no,
like
no.
just get
no,
to
he
do this.
literally, Yeah, he literally steps sideways, and there's not even like a filter effect or something like you'd see on an After Effects image. It's just he just steps, and then he's just like you walk behind a door.
What the hell?
Well, I'll be buggered. Did he do
Wait.
that?
Wait, wasn't he a werewolf? Wait, does that mean giant murder dogs can just pop out of reality?
Yep. Pop out of-
That's
They can pop out of reality right in
terrifying.
your face.
That's the worst. That's the
your worst
worst.
fears realized.
Not quite, but that's still
Brooke,
Because
Brooke.
he's
Bad.
basically human most of the time.
yeah, Brooke, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
no, don't no. Looks at shoulder.
There's
Jeez,
nothing.
I'm
There's literally nothing there.
That. Fuck. I gotta
So
learn to
what
check.
happened? Did he teleport or?
Not exactly. He,
I think-
Gabriella would be able to explain it.
I think he went to his version of wherever werewolves go, like the spirit woods thing.
So he teleported himself or moved himself somehow into another dimension.
Yes, and I think he not only can hear us, but do whatever he wants at this point. He's just kind of allowed to do. Wow. That's. Fuck. No wonder people are so fucking terrified of those guys.
He actually, you all receive a text on your pads or PDAs or whatever you guys have, and you see the text message and it says, "Yes, communication is possible. However, most of the time, voice communication over cell phones or technology is very difficult. So I'll have to do it like this. Bit primitive, I'm sorry, but it's the only thing I can do."
What's it look like over there?
There's a little pause on the phone, then it texts back. Kind of a lot of spirits, a lot of guardians. Colors are different, angles are different. Light doesn't quite work right, etc., etc.
Looks the building. Oh, do you see a giant squid over there, by the way? Is there like Cthulhu hanging out?
No, there is no squid. However, according to Miss Gabriella, there is some sort of liquid film coming over, and now that I've gotten a little bit of a closer look, I can see that there is indeed some kind of liquid covering the building. However, it does not appear to be preventing physical access, more as in preventing sight access.
Hmm. You gotta be careful, guys. I did some backlogs on this thing that they're worshiping, and
Hmm.
yeah, my from what I've been told, this thing is older than time and quite literally basically Cthulhu. It is bad. It is very, very bad and very, very murdery.
So, a being from beyond the stars, probably even from beyond our reality, from before the unit. Oh my! And he just starts massaging his temple. I'm too old for this bollocks.
Oh, nonsense, but also, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. The only thing I
There's-
need to know is it's a threat and we have to deal with it, and it is definitely not native.
Not native, and I doubt we can kill it. So something's pissed it off, and now it's here. And oh god, we're fighting an uphill battle we can't win.
Let's hope that by taking out the minions, we'll be able to slow whatever progress it's trying to do.
I guess.
Because I, for
You
one, have
guys
just
sitting here
woken
losing
up
your
and
shit,
don't
but we have a job to do.
fancy. Anyway, and his whole demeanor hardens, more professional. Anyways, how are we doing this?
All right, Jared, you are the B&E specialist. You're taking point. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I am literally the thing of nightmares, so I'm gonna use illusion of safety. And is there a clash or no? 'Cause
There,
I will.
there will indeed be a Clash of Wills for this.
All right,
What is your total pool, by the way?
8.
I
I'm
believe.
gonna be
Yep.
adding my
This,
willpower to that.
this thing has a thing of 10, and it will also spend a willpower.
Exceptional. All right.
Very good. 1, 2.
Mm,
So, due to the expenditure of willpower and sheer effort of will, you just managed to actually break this thing. It was difficult, but you do manage to get it through. And Gabriella, when he does that, the moment his layer does manage to actually break it, your boneyard works.
So Gabrielle will kind of widens her eyes, look at that, and then she would look at him, and she would say, "What did you do?"
Got a
Or
damn-
is he not
well,
around yet?
no, you
I'm
can
here.
talk to him on the communicator, but that was a damn good roll. That's what he did.
Jared
Okay.
is kind of just intently staring at this building. It's not even like a casual, creepy, like old man on a bench there. He's like clearly lost in thought, analyzing everything and to deal with this building.
Old man on a bench.
With the boneyard. I guess I'm actually gonna use eyes on the paintings.
When you look inside the building,
And see what she can find inside.
yeah, you look inside the building and you can see this was indeed an old library. And what does illusion of safety do to those inside again, Jared?
It's not a lair tilt. It's not my lair. It's an atavism, and I understand my 8 rooms because I think it's my lair times 2. Yeah, I gain an understanding of lair dots times 2. Rooms or compartments per turn of study. Storage areas such as closets and wardrobes aren't considered separate rooms. The Begotten's understanding begins with the rooms closest to her and expands outwards as she continues to observe. So that's why I said Jared's kind of like in a trance
Okay.
right now.
So you and Gabriella get the whole building. This was indeed an old library, filled with long hallways, old frames, decaying, things here or there. However, the building is decently kept. It's not falling apart. Books and shelves just line the entire rooms. There are office rooms. There is a basement. There is also a top floor that is used as almost a living quarters now. The library, although large, is, shall we say, not that housed at the moment, since there only appear to be about a group of maybe 20 people in the building. They are all dressed in the familiar robes that you have all known to see. And the only one that seems to stand out is a man sitting behind a desk in one of the main offices up top. Everyone else appears to just be rummaging around, moving supplies, reading, chanting, scrawling some sort of symbols, and practicing some kind of magic? Question mark. And that's what you see.
Okay.
Just a second, I'm listening.
Mm.
But all right.
Mute yourself, Gabriella. We can hear you. Go ahead, Jared. You've seen what you've seen.
What's so different about this man that stands out?
Most of the people in the building have... Imagine if you're looking at something through a camera. He almost looks like he's being filtered, like the camera's out of focus. Like it can't, like the fine grains of imagery don't quite line up. He doesn't appear to be coming in quite as clear. He's blurry, he's off-putting.
He's obfuscated, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. I will take out my phone. I have a pretty expensive smartphone. And everything that I can visualize in my head that makes up this building, I'm essentially just, like, phones are probably a decent size with just like screens that you hold up.
Well,
so I can kind of use it like a tablet and just sketch out this floor plan.
Yep. So
okay.
You guys have a full 3D floor plan now.
Marcus starts studying it, seeing if he can apply any of his strategic knowledge on how to best approach the building.
You guys form out a pretty decent plan. Probably the best way to enter would actually be to go for the man in the office first through the second story fire escape, since it appears to be fairly not very well guarded.
Do we need an entry plan? Because I have a entry plan.
I'm just writing.
Right.
What's your plan?
Reaches in the bag, pulls out cultist-looking robe.
That's actually a very good idea. It worked last time.
Alright. Not a bad idea. If you...
See how many people I can take with me on this?
And we have already established they have kindred in their cult, so I wouldn't stand out.
Well,
you said one of the... Sorry, you said one of the hallways or something was less guarded?
Yeah, the second story fire escape.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there are doors, I can unlock them pretty easily. So we can just
there's actually
walk in.
There's actually no locked doors in the building, interestingly enough.
If there was, I would just be able to open them.
Yeah, you guys have plenty of ways to get in.
So it's more about choosing to do it with stealth or.
Well, two of us
kicking
are
our
pretty
way in.
stealthy through one way or another.
Yeah.
And Brooke
My
can
character-
probably put up a decent enough facade to get Marcus in.
My character is with the shroud activated, so it's basically like she have obfuscate, like her presence will be ignored. So like if we want to just walk in, I can do it. But if we are after some sort of data or whatever is inside a building, we might not need to get in. So what are we looking for?
We're also here to kill everybody inside.
Yeah,
That
I'm
I
not
can do
entirely
as
sure
well.
what the goal here is aside from just
He said
delete these cultists.
Well, he said to get their. Remember, he said their hard drive was here. One of their biggest stores of data was here.
Oh, so this isn't just like a
So-
hidey hole. This is like an actual HQ then.
Yes, yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
So what I want to do is search for his server and use the marionettes on it. So then I can send to the internet a copy of all the data.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to make the roll for that, and then I'll also need you to make an intelligence computers check afterwards. But for that since you're doing that, so I assume that Brooke and Marcus are gonna go in on foot, and
Yeah.
Jared will go in under stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm
Jared, just for the living hell of it, roll me Dex Stealth with any bonuses you want, or that are applied to that.
All right. I'm not starving, so this isn't rote. But I am invisible, and if there's any environment, so let's say, what's the weather, for example? Like, let's paint the scene real quick, and we can see if any of my layer traits are resonant. Like, would the inside of this library count for bad angles or anything like that? Or are there lots of staircases or any kind of weird geometry?
Unfortunately, no, because libraries were actually built, at least this one in particular that I have in my head, was actually built very symmetrically, very square, very...
Okay, so this isn't like a
straightforward.
Victorian era,
No.
weird throwback library, okay.
No, it's like everything's very square, very straight lines, 90-degree angles, etc.
Okay, then I can use Francine's maze as resonant because of how orderly everything is. It's easy to get lost that way.
Oh wait, I have to roll for this. Okay, it's presence plus subterfuge, which is weird.
Cool. Being resonant with my layer trait, I can spend willpower instead of safety on that. And this
success people
is
who see the character.
shenanigans. And rote.
Gabriella.
So 9
you s-
minus.
Yep.
I have to roll this. Hang on.
Just a moment for you guys. Gabriella, you successfully managed to extract the data, however you feel like you're being watched. However, Gabriella, you get the entire data off the hard drive. All of it.
3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, 6 on the stealth.
6 stealth, okay.
Sorry. So if if I already copied the hard drive, I'll just look at the other guys and say, what else do we need to do here? I think I already got everything that we needed.
Well, besides take out the base, yeah. But yeah, you managed
Do
to
we
get...
need to kill everyone?
Yes.
Do you want me to destroy the building?
If you want to try.
I can make an earthquake.
Either way, it's probably best that we check things out first. Let's hold off on
Alright.
that. We'll save that for plan B.
Gabriel just chuckle and watch.
Let me see if I can.
That's the getaway plan. We just level the building and step into Jared's lair. Okay, that's our plan Z, we'll say.
Okay.
How many successes
Makes
did you get,
sense.
Brooke?
3.
That'll do.
Yep, that'll do.
All
If I
right.
got exceptional, it would have been like an honored host where they would have had to have given me the tour. Nope. I'm just here as security.
You approach the building through the misting haze of San Francisco. You enter through the second-story fire escape, you and Marcus.
Yep.
While Jared goes stealth. When you walk into the building, it's as you expected, Jared. It's an old library. It's set with a lot of right angles, a lot of proper. However, due to maze, it's very difficult to traverse, and you can see one fellow stumble along, and he's kind of stumbling, looking where he doesn't know where to go, and he sees you two, Marcus and Brooke, and he says, "Oh," and then he says something in a language you're not familiar with, and he says, "Welcome. Say, did either one of you remember which way to the bathroom?"
Marcus will.
Actually, yeah, everyone just studied the floor plan.
Yeah, actually.
So, Marcus will step up, and he will try to use mesmerize. On the
Okay.
fellow.
Make the roll. He
And
is
it's
a
On.
he is a vanilla mortal. He gets no resistance roll,
good.
so don't
I
fuck up.
also activated the contract. Besides a hostile takeover, I also
Mhm.
took the thing that gives me. No, this is yeah. So not only do I have doors open for me, that's the long gist of it.
Yeah, he just tells them to open and they do.
So you look at a door and say open, it opens.
No, I can just open it because it believes I'm supposed to be there. Like if I need to like access a computer, it just
Oh, I
kind of lets
see.
me get in.
Holy shit! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reroll the 10.
I was gonna say,
And a 10 again.
Reroll it.
There we go.
For the better lack of terminology that some of the cyberpunk kids say nowadays, to quote them, he is your bitch. What do you want him to do?
Okay. The toilet is there. A forward command, and he points to a building across 2 streets. Okay, yeah.
Okay. He's like, oh, we put it over there? Oh, shucks. Oh, thanks. And he goes and he starts walking out the fire escape down towards the other building.
I can't believe he said
Marcus will
shucks.
make Marcus will make a polite hand gesture and just go, Miss Castle.
I just can't believe he said shucks.
I
What a not culty thing to say.
take it you guys are heading to the office and the computers first?
Yep.
Yes, with all the confidence as if we owned the place.
it's secretly a Ned Flanders cult.
You guys actually have to face off it against Ned Flanders. I'm gonna warn you guys right now. He's a level 10. He's a level 10 Dreadhor.
Hi, doodly neighbor Rooney.
You walked in the wrong neighborhood. Alright.
Yeah, my character at this moment is just kind of staring at them and say, like, I'm just waiting for your call so I can make an earthquake.
Man, you're.
And kind of glaring at them.
She's like, "Itch, y'all got any more of them earthquakes?"
Yeah.
Jesus. Down, man, down. Let's see. So you already got all the data. So we're just here to kill people.
Yeah.
And we said there's 20 here, but there's. I made sure to tell you guys that that man is something else. Like there wasn't even a clash. He was still obfuscated despite that kind of thing.
So how do we kill him?
Well, we don't know what he is yet. That's what I'm saying.
How do we kill him?
Don't know.
I
Well,
say
the last time we came here, the big nasty was one of his, and he kind of points like with his thumb to Marcus. So if that's the case, obviously fire, or whatever else. But I think fire is easily accessible between the two of you. If the horde, not even a week ago, was any indication.
Yes, I'm still slightly shocked at how effective I was, all things considered.
that was a blur of motion that day. I don't know exactly what happened.
It was literally a fiery whirlwind of destruction, and you, my dear, were fantastic.
Thank you. I try. So do we just firebomb this dude? At that point, we just let Gabriella just earthquake the bitch.
You hear a voice.
Jared,
You hear a voice come from inside the office. Please come in, and the door is open.
oh, I should have asked if we had the telepathic link before leaving, because
Oh,
this
yeah.
is like a sanctioned mission. Like,
Yeah,
this
Let
isn't,
me
like,
use
out of-
aspects.
No, you do.
Can I roll aspects?
Sorry, I
Sure.
think I lost the past minutes of what
It's all
happened.
right. They're
We
just
all had a-
investigating.
Yeah, we all had a telepathic conversation on what to do about the big guy, and
Alright.
then someone was just like, "Come on in, welcome to our Adams family home. Enjoy your stay."
Alright.
So now
Gabriella
he's
is
looking
looking,
at the thing really hard. Yeah.
is looking at them and being like, well, can I boil his blood?
Jesus, dude.
I'm gonna roll. Can I roll aspects to see if there's anything hiding in this room?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh
Let's see,
my
this
God.
is
Sorry about the
wits.
dog sounds.
It's alright. Wits, empathy, plus aspects. +1. Not presence. Get out of your presence. God. I miss when it only let you, like, do 2 things. I have 2 successes. To see the truth.
There does not appear to be anything hiding in this room. Although there is something else here besides him, but it does not appear to be here.
Ah! Okay, so I'll give that general vibe to everybody. Fortunately I have 4 status with this dude, so... Actually, I think we all have 4 status with this guy.
Mhm.
Or those he can see. So,
So you walk in,
yep.
and he sits behind the desk. He's a middle-aged man, blonde hair, blue eyes, kind of a skinny build, wearing a suit. He says, "I did not know that it was my time to die. But if it is, the Great One demands it. What do you wish to know, Miss Castle?" As he looks straight at you.
He's just punching through this. Wait, that's a clash, at least.
Roll me presence plus your supernatural power.
Or whatever.
Yes.
you
Actually,
clash with.
presence plus supernatural power. Once again, it will be the same thing.
You son of a bitch.
And then I need to
1
roll,
success.
and then I need to roll for the thing.
Holy fuck.
It knows!
13 dice.
Wait, the only thing... Nothing clashes against this, though.
Well, no, he fails. However, the thing does not. So he looks confused, almost like he gets put in a daze when he looks at you, Brooks. And he's like, "What?" And then he stops. He looks down at the desk, tilts his head, listens to something, and says, "Miss Castle?"
As he's saying that, like, he's calling me out.
He's saying that now like he's actually really confused, like he's kind of trying to shake off this effect, and the only thing that's keeping him going is apparently something he's listening to.
What is it, my son? You seem distracted.
I know it's my time to die, but I thought it would be more grand. I thought that I would be a leader of the forefront. But if I am to be a knight to be taken to take the queen, then so be it. I'm sure you know a lot about that, Miss Castle.
I have a roll for this.
Go ahead.
The book, the weird, it protects me.
Yep.
Hang on. Fuck. Da. It is. It is. Sorry about this. I didn't expect to get called out so hardcore. Hey, I could also use fast talking. How much fast talking do I have? Let's check that in a second. Oh, here it is. Let's see. People care to believe it's respect his life. All right. Subterfuge. Presence plus subterfuge.
Okay, go ahead.
And Contested by the character's wits plus. Okay, wait.
Yep.
The member does not know something the member would. His player rolls by the other character's wits plus empathy. So he rolls a wits plus empathy. I roll a presence plus subterfuge.
Okay. Two hits.
Gonna willpower this. Is this immortal?
No.
Okay.
I would not imagine.
The being in the room with him. Yeah, he still gets through it. The being with him got 3. So he looks at you and he kind of shakes his head again, like he's really trying to get past the weird, like it's fucking him up. And he looks at you and he says, Miss Brooks, Mr. Irons, what can I do for you today?
Looks to Mr. Irons. As I am trying to find an opening to subtly inhale a match.
Mhm.
Because I'm about to need to be
Okay.
fireproof.
Yep.
Yeah,
Marcus, in that way, would it be reasonable to say that the cover is blown?
Jared's actually going to tap Brooks' shoulder, and it's subtle because he's invisible and he's using anativism, so it's kind of strange. But just she's obviously breathing anyway. So I have Dragonfire now, and this is basically how I'm introducing it. It's not mouth to mouth or anything crazy. It's just kind of a little invisible gust as you're breathing, and you just go, "Hey, it's still flame."
It counts!
Alright. So
Nice.
he looks at you, Mr. Irons. He says, Mr. Irons, it's been so long.
What do you mean with that?
Well, don't you remember the war?
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O!
Okay, he's trying to dominate this guy because he might have info on his Ooh, okay. Yeah, he's going for Iron Edict and also spending a willpower and spending a blood because that's what you have to do for that one.
Okay.
Fingers crossed, people.
Losing your cool.
He got 3 hits. You gotta beat 3 hits.
You can do it. I believe in you. I don't believe in him. I believe in you.
1.
He actually did it!
Yeah.
I always believed in you, no doubt whatsoever.
So
Bollocks, you did.
Marcus, you succeed.
Okay, to put it very bluntly, this guy, he's my bitch now.
Do you need Mesmerize before you Iron Edict?
Yes.
That's why you do the roll. Basically, you first mesmerize them, and then you spend the blood
and then it
to
just upgrades.
reinforce it,
Yeah.
and then it becomes Iron Edict. And then you can use several sentences instead of just 3 to 4 word commands.
All right.
Okay.
What do you wanna do?
He will tell him, "You will serve me loyally. You will tell me everything you know truthfully. You will not act in any way to harm me or Miss Brooks."
He shakes his head at the first command, but nods at the other 2.
Where did you last see me?
Auschwitz.
That is impossible. I wasn't even born then, let alone embraced.
He reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a manila folder and sets it in front of the desk.
He takes it and looks at it.
You open it up. It's an old profile. It's an old like there's words, there's pictures, there's details, height, weight, all that. And it's a picture of you in a prison uniform. Sure enough, in Auschwitz.
Can I run computer to see if that picture was modified by any sort of app?
You don't even need to roll, Gabriella. You got into the whole database. That picture is not edited in any way. That is a completely legitimate file.
All right. Gabriel will continue kind of invisible, watching the scene.
You're a Holocaust survivor?
How? Why? This makes no sense. Why have I
I
got
didn't know
these
you were
memories?
Jewish, old buddy.
No, that's not right. I'm half English, half Iraqi. What? No. This. No. No. This must be some trick.
Perhaps it is, perhaps it isn't. It doesn't really matter. Nonetheless,
Yeah, as
the
long as it's not a
irons.
frenzy trigger.
Nonetheless, the Irons that I knew was very similar to you, very headstrong, very driven to do what needed to be done. But in the end, I suppose it just came of tuition. What else do you wish to know?
What was I doing there? Assuming that what you say is true.
Participating in, shall we say, the next age of experimentation of warfare?
Marcus's face definitely grows very dark, very. How should I say? It's not just the beast that is grimacing, but there is also something very dark about the man going. Who was doing the experimenting?
He holds out a photo. And the photo is a bunch of people in lab coats. It looks like a bunch of gentlemen who would be responsible for, medical work or laboratory work. And there's about 4 of them in the picture. One of them is a man that you don't recognize. Another one is the man sitting before you. The third one is a woman who you also don't recognize. And the fourth man is Mr. X.
Marcus's eyes visibly widen as he sees that, and how should I say, the sheer shock of it all just makes him take a few steps back.
We'll put a hand on your shoulder and be like, and just kind of whisper, "Existential crisis later. We need to figure out what this guy's doing with the Cthulhu cult."
Yes. What are you doing with this cult?
We are trying to awaken the true gods.
Why? What benefit do you think to gain from it?
We will become their children in a new age. A new world without the need for all this metal, these wires, we will tear down this infrastructure. We will tear down this lie that has been given before us. We will tear down this lie. This machine will die. And we will bring mankind into its proper age.
Cult as well.
You guys are both.
I'm kind of.
Yeah, anyone is welcome to roll a cult.
I'll let you do be the primary actor. We'll just make it a teamwork action.
And
You have
Gab-
family ties. This gives you a +1.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes.
By the way, Gabriella, roll me intelligence. Yeah, intelligence science.
oh okay.
Ooh, I got 3 successes on my wits occult.
I'm doing int. I guess if we can use wits, it's fine.
Wits or int at this point.
Yeah.
You want to do it
One
reflexively.
success on the
Gabriella,
science roll.
Gabriella, you're not entirely sure. You'll have to look through that data.
Okay.
If
Can
you
I?
had- if
Do
you
I
had-
have a guess?
I mean,
with
if you
one
had, if,
success?
if you had to guess, Nazis, weapons of war, probably something to do with kindred blood or something like that.
It's Mecha Hitler.
Hold on.
So-
Gabrielle's a primary actor, so you get 6 bonus dice to your roll for the wits and occult or int and occult, whichever.
Does
And
my
I'm-
specialty in Underworld?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I was asking about the gun machine. All right.
Well, I know you're doing that, but she's doing something different.
All right.
And +6 from
Mm-hmm.
Jared, +1 from my specialty.
Yeah, it's
Brooke's helping out too.
it's.
Oh, sorry.
It still doesn't quite get it, but you do manage to get that it's probably something to do with kindred blood, but you don't know much about kindred blood, so.
I forgot to roll with the 9 again. Can I just do the simple roll with the 2 successes that I got?
Yeah, I mean,
It was 1 9 and a 10.
you're basically going to get the same thing. There's not a
Yeah.
whole lot that you know about the kindred blood as a weapon. You do know that there was a project on remote viewing that was actually a real project in our world in World War II that happened. That the Germans were trying to experiment with remote viewing and psychic essence. However, it proved to obviously be ineffective. But
Men who stare at goats.
for whatever reason, it didn't go off. However, you do know that there was a lot of weaponization of supernatural things during World War II. And you can guess this was probably one of the projects that you've read about. So- Go ahead.
Since me and Jared were in a teamwork, I imagine that he also knows the same information that I know. Since I imagine
Brooke,
that we
you
were
and I,
kind
yeah.
of
Yes.
discussing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Brooke and I believe Jared were asking about God Machine, right?
Yeah, because he said we're gonna awaken the true gods. We're gonna destroy this lie of this machine. There was some kind
Yeah,
of illusions
Marcus
there.
was about to ask a question.
I know Brooke knows shit about the God Machine, but I know she knows a bit because she's talked to her one person about the Cthulhu, all that Eldritch weird spirit bullshit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
she would be
it's-
more knowing about that.
What you
I'm
guys-
most. Go ahead.
What you guys kind of get from this experience is Brooks, you don't know a whole lot about the machine, but you do know that the old ones could potentially be very old spirits or very old entities that lurk, beneath the waves, so to speak, and could be very well dormant in there because the changelings do often talk about what they call the deep fae. And it's a little bit creepy since, your experience with fae has been, oh dear God, what the fuck is that? And the fact that he's talking about releasing those into the world is kind of like,
Yeah, no, fuck this guy.
And Jared, yeah, you pretty much what you guessed is kind of what he's talking about. He's talking about tearing down the entire lie of the veil that is put up. You don't know much about the machine per se, only what you have heard. But supposedly
Yeah.
that infrastructure itself is a part of it. And tearing this down would mean tearing a fabric in reality.
Yeah, if I were to lean on my backstory, I'd say maybe I've encountered infrastructure, but like I wouldn't necessarily know it for what it is when you see it, right? So
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
like just all these different incidental things kind of come together.
Yeah, like It's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, for example, I can give you a really good example of things that Jared has witnessed for infrastructure.
Because this whole life
Do
is
you-
literally running through this.
Yeah,
shit, so-
do you remember the scene from The Matrix where he sees he sees the cat do the same thing when it walks by the
Mhm.
You've seen things like that happen. And you've always just passed it off as but now that you think about it, maybe something else was happening there.
I was probably seeing this all as heresy because she's Catholic and she thinks that she believes in only one God.
So burn it with holy Promethean.
All right, Mr.
Jared's standing between Brooks and Marcus, and while he's invisible and his gear's invisible, his fire isn't necessarily. So while his mask is probably glowing, you can't see it, but you just see this like face in the air of the outlines and the eye holes in the mouth for this mask, just emblazoned in fire in the air in front of you briefly.
Mr. Irons, what do you wish to ask this man?
What machine do you speak of? Speak sense.
The machine that hides reality.
So what? Some kind of Matrix bullshit you're trying to pull on me?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Marcus is growing very agitated in a I'm really pissed off, but I'm also scared kind of way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And who made this machine?
We don't know. It's been here since the dawn of time. But so have the Allfathers, and we will awaken them to tear down this machine.
What gives them the right?
Right? How pretentious.
They were... Some called them a mistake, but they are the true path to ascendance. They are not just the generic, pathetic cardboard cutouts that were made to walk and talk, to be puppets. They were the real born. They were the real beings. They were not a mistake. He looks straight at you, Jared, and he says, "You were not a mistake."
That's a clash.
It's
So, yep. Roll me Clash of
Because
Wills.
I'm invisible.
Yep,
When
roll
I
me-
said that, it was in their minds, not.
Yeah,
out
no,
loud.
I'm not saying that he knows that.
Okay. Get to.
it's probably looking at this guy.
I've never been so
disgusted,
threatened and validated in the same sentence.
and being like,
I actually have 2 rolls to make.
this
'cause as
guy.
he's-
This guy's talking about the Antichrist.
Oh, it's wits and resolve. Alright. Why can't I roll anything? Oh, there we go. Okay. That helps. Because as I was saying that, I'm calling my lair.
Okay.
And then just regular Clash of Wills.
Mhm. Okay, you beat him, but do not beat the creature. But he, like, kind of looks at you, and he still says that, but then he just kind of like shakes his head, and then he just goes back to talking to Marcus and Brooks like you're not even there.
And then what? They come like Tiamat out of the sea, bring chaos across the world. Do you know that too much chaos kills people rather fast? How many are you willing to sacrifice?
They will be reborn as true children.
As what? As fish people?
He shrugs. As true beings. Can you not see? We have found a way to break the machine. We found it there in Africa, deep in the jungles. We didn't think we would find it there, but we did. We found a way to break the machine, Irons. We finally found a way to break the machine.
I've got one other roll to make because I imagine he has something that lets him see through illusions.
Mhm.
All right. However, this is a permanent effect, and I have a bit more dice for it. This is for the mirages, so that Brooke still looks like Brooke in the midst of all this.
All right. Are you looking at this guy, trying to find anything?
No, this is. Remember, I opened a primordial path to my lair.
Right. Okay.
And so this is to make sure Brooke still looks like Brooke and doesn't look like a castle in the middle of
Okay.
this library.
All right. So he says, the sickness is spreading, Irons, and when it gets into the city, when it gets into the infrastructure like a virus, the entire infrastructure will crumble, and we are going to help nurse it along. You and your friends may have tried to stop us, and may have succeeded on some front, but we can wait. For unbeknownst to us, there was another who was already doing our work for us, and they will finish where we started.
Who
my-
are they?
My brethren and sisters have already escaped you. Oh, the others? You know them as the Blood Dogs. They didn't even intend to do it, but they're doing our work for us. And all we had to do was release a stupid drug into the system. And thanks to San Francisco's finest, Red Eye was now no longer a competition. Once Greenlight became the only drug on the market, it was so easy.
Marcus pulls out his crow's beak, but lets him speak.
It was so easy to get all of that in. And to think all this time it took thousands and thousands of years. And all we needed was just a bunch of people getting high off of a drug to break the infrastructure.
Marcus, Marcus has got his crow's beak out.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll that surprise attack here at some point, I imagine.
And he is just, and he'll activate Corona as he will want to walk towards the guy to literally smite him with the pointy end.
Roll some science or codes to try to understand the process of this drug that this guy is saying.
Well, the thing about Greenlight is you can go to Creed and ask about Greenlight because you have information on Greenlight. But Creed's the one who's going to have to give you the information on that. But yeah, you can go to Creed and ask him all about it.
Alright. So in that case, I mean, Marcus seems to be going to this guy with murderous intent. This guy is working to the Antichrist, so I don't think it's a sin to murder him. So I'll just wait for the fight to start because it's not polite to start a fight.
Anna, you can hear all this happen on the radio, but it's been your character's just been there watching the post with her rifle.
Yeah, we made sure to include you because you said you were going to be here soon.
So, Mr. Irons, what are you doing?
We might just have to get her up to speed.
Yeah, he's going for a melee attack. He wants to plunge that well-smithed thorn right into the guy's top of his head. Kill him. This guy, yeah. After all he said, this is a great threat to the humans of this city. This is a great threat to the kindred. This is a great threat to a lot of people. So he
Alright.
sees it as his duty to do what needs to be done, and that's yeah, and that is murdering the hell out of this guy.
So,
Alright, what order are we doing? this
so
in?
either way, the man is not going to resist you at all. Actually, as you are stabbing him and killing him very brutally, he's just sitting there laughing at you. It's like that scene from, do you remember that scene from Sin City where he's chopping up Elijah Wood into pieces? And
Yeah.
he's just sitting there giving that stare.
I want to have a look into the Twilight, see, roll a code or whatever using Bloody Mary's stats
I won't
to see what's happening.
You don't even need to roll, Gabriella. Nothing is happening. It's actually very quiet. Actually, if anything, as he's doing this brutal murder, the twilight is calming down a bit. You can see the energies and the colors of the twilight just kind of start to shimmer down. So Marcus, as you brutally murder this guy, yeah, he stands there and laughs at you and just gives you that smug smile.
At which point he's really had it, and he'll just want to unleash flames upon him. He wants to reduce him to nothing.
You do so. There's not much left afterwards.
This guy leaves a ghost when he dies.
There's no ghost.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Are the other 19 people in this building?
There are 19 people in the building. What do you guys want to do with them? They're all vanilla mortals.
Well, I was just gonna murder this guy, but
I guess we'll
Um,
just murder everyone else.
We need to do that.
Shut up. Yes, we do.
I mean, they'll resist you, but they're human, so I'm not going to bother rolling all
before
those
we
dice.
do that,
Go ahead.
Jared's gonna investigate them a bit and just see if anything's changed, if they're kind of in their own wits, if they're free of will, if they're acting.
Actually, that you just
You know what I
reminded
mean?
you just reminded me of something. Shit, hold on, I gotta roll something.
How many of them just like, what am I doing here?
No, okay. So
But no,
that,
I just want to see what's going on after this.
okay, so that's actually even creepier. So they start to commit suicide in a variety of ways. One of them literally gets on his knees and commits seppuku. Goes across his chest. One of them literally puts his hands around his head and just snaps his own neck. Just boom.
I don't want to allow this. I want to stop at least one of them so we
Okay.
can interrogate him
I'll-
Yeah,
afterward.
you had
I'll-
dominate and whatnot.
Yep, I'll get to that in just a moment. And then for example, Jared, you see another one that like just pulls out a knife and he just slits his own throat. And as the blood starts to seep on the ground, you can see a green light start to form.
Yeah.
So
Move.
hold on, things are gonna happen at once here. Jared, would you roll me? This is just a default base of the power. So this is your presence plus layer rating, so it's Clash of Wills, versus
Oh, Clash of Wills is my
versus a default pool of 3. So you will need 3 hits or more to succeed this.
Alright, a Clash of Wills uses my highest resistance trait, not
Yes.
my...
Yeah.
Present,
Whatever
yeah.
whatever your Clash of Wills is.
Alright. Oh shit, another one. Another 6 successes.
All right, so you're fine.
Holy shit.
You feel something start to creep into your mind, and you're like, nope, not again.
You have violated me once before.
And
This
Brooks,
will never happen
yeah,
again.
Brooks and Irons make me the same roll, and Gabriella make me the same roll. Your highest, whatever resistance.
Well,
stat,
they have they have
yeah.
different rules for
yeah,
Clash of Wills.
plus your power rating.
Just so you know, geists are immune to possession, if that's what's happening.
This is not a possession. This is a manipulation. This is an influence of mental patterns. This is an influence
So-
of the dream.
Alright, I'm gonna use a chart of the shroud, so
How did you use your
I'm
stamina?
gonna have 8
I'm a
dice.
beast. Any Clash of Wills uses
Okay.
my highest resistance attribute.
Alright, so I guess mine's just resolve composure.
Well, no,
Well, it
it's-
would
it's-
be whatever you
it's-
clash mental effects with.
Yeah, it would be your resolve plus weird.
And I need to make that as well.
Anna does not need to make this because she's actually not influencing the library in any way, and you're far enough away.
Okay.
However, Gabriella's trying to actually do something in there, so she witnesses. She gets hit by this.
I'm gonna spend a willpower. Wait, don't I only get 2 dice for this?
2 dice for resistance of mental effects. Yes.
No, you get 3 because it's a contested roll. Willpower
yeah,
adds
yeah,
2 to
yeah.
resisted rolls.
Yeah.
The fact that 2 people are rolling against each other makes it contested.
3 successes. Yay.
All right, you're good. Irons.
Sorry, 1 success.
1 success. Okay, so Irons take 2 aggravated damage,
Ouch.
Oof.
and
Is he crazy again?
yeah, the mental tilt insane.
Ah, no, my boy!
The good news is we are in my lair, so you're not loose on Section 9 or people you care about. I can just send you in another chamber and let you throw a tantrum in your own little
So-
reality.
May I ask, is this frenzy or is this Malkovia?
This is
Well,
insanity. Well, here's what's cool about it. This is insanity. So it can literally be however you want your character to respond in insanity. So it can be a frenzy, it can be you just sitting there mumbling, it can be you sitting there rocking back and forth. It can be you looking perfectly normal and not doing a darn thing, but inside your head going, ah!
Yeah, it's just a
I-
tilt. It's nothing. It's not like Malkovia disease or a frenzy check. It's literally just a mental state that you're in.
Act Malkovian.
Just act like a Malkavian.
You do.
He sits down, wraps his arms around his knees, is rocking a bit, and he's just mumbling some nonsense about I can hear them, they are everywhere. We have all the answers, but none of the questions.
Jared
Brooke will
kinda
just kinda-
quarantines him.
All right, Gabriella. Yeah, Gabriella. You wanted to stop one from doing what they're doing?
Yes, I want.
Roll me a D100, and then roll me whatever roll you're gonna use using Bloody Mary stats.
Alright. So 69
Okay.
and
Nice! Nice!
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna roll the marionettes with the key of stillness. So let me just double check how many plus dice I get. Key of fucking stillness. It's the composure. Composure is a resistance attribute, right? So I get plus 1 more dice.
Mhm.
Boff.
As long as you beat 2 hits, you've succeed.
All right. Basically, what I'm gonna do with the marionettes is I'm gonna control the body of this person so this person stops, and then I'm gonna control some ropes or whatever I have to kind of restrain them and wrap it around them like a Christmas gift and float them to us with the marionettes. Do that very silently, and when they finally arrive, I will say, "Huh, you tried to do a really bad thing."
You, as you basically use the marionette to control this woman, you recognize her.
Opa.
She's one of your fellow strippers at the club.
Filho da puta. Okay. Now Gabriela is pissed.
And she sits there and she realizes she can't move. She was about to basically disembowel herself. And she's sitting there like, "No, I must see the Allfather."
I will hug her and try her best to roll, I don't know, empathy or something to calm her down. And then she will shout to the other people of the group, like, "Stop them! Don't let them kill themselves. Those might be good people, but they are probably being, I don't know, something on their minds is happening. Don't let them kill themselves." And she'll hug the girl
The
and
blood is a lie. The blood is a lie. The blood is
The
a
only other
lie.
person with that kind of power is in a trance right now.
They're all kind of already dead.
Christ.
Also,
Can
yeah. I can do something with lair traits potentially.
I think
But it would
by the
just
time
drive
we've
me
already
in-
saying this, I think we already missed the gun.
It's,
I'm pretty sure if they want to kill themselves, they've done it.
Yeah.
Well, we've just been dealing with Gabriella's role this time, so it's not like time's actually passed.
No, it. I'm pretty sure it just did.
Can I roll to calm her and maybe Marcus down on a presence plus, I don't know, expression or empathy roll? Something of
Dude,
this
you're
sort?
doing too much.
Alright.
I mean, you can literally try, but it's no matter how quick you are, unless you have the ability to stop time, which I don't think you do.
Well, I kind of called my lair down a long time ago.
I mean, you can call your layer down, but there's only so much you can do with stopping time. You know, if people are gonna do an action, they're gonna do an action. Now, Jared, if you wish to
I
try
can make
and
it
stop
just about
them,
impossible to.
yeah, like you can make it like you can try and stop a few of them, and you can call your layer down. I assume that's instant, correct?
I've already done that before they even murdered the guy.
Well, right. I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Would you have popped your abilities, and how quickly do they?
Oh, the lair traits are literally part of the lair. They're up as soon as I open the pathway. That's
Right.
kind of home, essentially.
So can you physically make it impossible for them to kill themselves?
It's difficult, but I can make it so anything they try to use to hurt themselves falls apart, and everything they see is an illusion anyway, so good luck finding shit to hurt themselves with, or even seeing their own hands to be coordinated enough to twist their own heads, and so on and so on.
Okay.
But combined with, so I have Maze, which makes it hard enough to find things to get around. Mirages, everything is an illusion, nothing you see is real. Decayed, so even on the off chance you manage to grasp something dangerous, it takes all the damage that you would be applying to you to itself. So, congrats, you cut yourself, your knife falls apart.
Okay.
And then I have sealed exits at the moment, so no one accidentally ends up where they shouldn't be.
All right. That could potentially work on some of them. I'll go ahead and make rolls for them and see if any.
Okay.
I might have something that I can do as a reflexive
Gabriella,
action.
You've already done your thing.
Okay.
So this is all happening at once. Remember that. So.
Yeah, it's just because the enhancements on the haunts are reflexive.
Jared, this works for some, not everyone.
Okay.
Roll me a. Let's see. There were 19 people, right? And 3 of them died. So 8. So 18, 17, 16. Roll me a D. Roll me a D15.
Is that even? Oh, whoops. That's kind of a weird roll. There we go.
Okay, you save 8 people of that 15.
So almost half of them just on my own. That's fucking. I don't have to feel bad about that. At least I tried.
Yep. So the other 8, well, they didn't quite, yeah. But there's nothing in the library stopping you guys now. So you guys have successfully managed to, shall we say, detain the people.
I'll just pick up Marcus and just kind of walk him out.
Yeah, he's yeah. The lair's kind of already just put him in a little well-stocked area.
yeah,
where he has
he-
whatever he needs.
Yeah,
Uh.
Marcus is so rocking back and forth that you can pick him up without any problem.
It's fine.
Cosmic Labs to the slaughter!
Shh, I know. It's kind of just petting your head as she's just carrying you away.
Him and Anna are gonna have a chat about that later, I imagine.
The horror of Francine.
Hmm.
The horror that, since your
Oh,
layers
she would love this. She's
are,
like
yeah, no,
literally
hor-
a fucking siren. So.
yeah, horror is watching this, so she will know what has happened here.
It sucks that she's not here, but I'm sure she would want to save some people.
Yeah, no, she.
because she's done that before.
I
Alright.
mean, I'll say that with her combined effort with you, that's how you got the 8 people. Both of you
Okay.
together were able to get about 8 people out of the 15.
All right.
So you managed to get the people out. Do you guys want to level the building? Do you want to leave it there? What do you want to do?
Oh, dude, this building is being deleted.
So Gabriella and Jared will press delete on the keyboard.
Yeah, between my aggravated damage that ignores durability of objects and her earthquake, it's just
Yeah,
just
the building,
a shambling.
the earth rumbles and shakes, and the building basically, it doesn't so much as collapse as disintegrate.
Gabriella's kind of walking.
For the aggravated. There.
She's walking out of the building, carrying the girl, wrapped in this coat or cloth or wherever, and like walking in slow motion, like the cool guys don't look at explosions thing, making an earthquake behind her and just destroy everything.
Yeah,
Quite
Jared's basically
angry.
turning this into lava bending. It's just bloop, done, gone.
All right. Do you take? I take it you take the victims back to Section 9 for medical treatment and supernatural treatment.
I mean, I don't imagine any of us are any more skilled except from maybe Francine and Marcus if he was around.
You see,
They could piece them together.
yep, right next. When you guys get back and they're done doing everything, Jared, the moment you kind of come visible again,
Mm.
Zach will sidestep out, and he says, "Well, that
Yeah,
was,
we're all Section 9 at this point.
yeah."
Okay.
Can I try something when I have a chance? I wait.
Yeah, Zach was about to say something. I just made sure where we were.
Well, that was troubling. From what we can tell, his intel was correct. There have been no more kidnappings this past few weeks, and there have been no cultist sightings, and it seems that a lot of them have fled the city. But that is troubling. This is kind of beyond me, you know?
I mean, it's kind of beyond everything and everyone, so don't feel bad, buddy.
Well, I guess our first goal is to stop this green light shit. Stop all this blood dog business.
I'll win them all. Every single one of them will burn in hell.
What would you do in this situation? He'd probably kind of round the group up together and get a consensus on whether we're continuing this. Because every time we bump heads with this, one or all of us ends up insane.
Granted, you guys have pretty much pushed them out of the city. There is no.
Wanna try?
They've you stopped their kidnapping, you stopped their smuggling, you killed 2 of their primary people, and then one of their primaries was killed by a changeling, and then you just recently got their main computer headquarters. So now they have nothing.
Okay. Can I try something that I was wanting to try for a while? I want to try in the Dancer Girl, because the building was coated in plasma, so maybe my powers might work. Maybe I can use Clash of Wills with my curse to remove something that is harming her.
Okay,
That's what I want to try.
roll me Clash of Wills, DC 3.
Okay, I'm
I'll
gonna
be right
get.
back.
I'm gonna use a will. I'm gonna get the Doom of the Key of Blood. Use a willpower, and then I'm gonna use a Bloody Mary's power attribute. That means that I get +2, +3 dice. Let's see what happens now. Oh, only
Okay,
3
you got it exactly on the mark. It's extremely difficult for you, but to everyone's surprise, you succeed. The woman blinks. You know her as Pam, as they nickname her. She blinks. She kind of shakes her head, and she's like, What happened? Where am I?"
Gabriella woke one of them up.
Mhm.
Okay.
Gabriella will give her a tight hug and say, I was so scared.
Hey, Gabby,
Look.
Gabby, ow, get off.
Okay, I will stop.
What happened?
Just look at her and say, look, there was something happening on your mind, and it seems like it was some sort of curse coming from. Anyway, I don't want to enter in details because you won't believe me. Just know that now you are okay, but you're gonna need to be observed for a few days, just to make sure that you are alright. Let's just say that you blanked out and sleepwalked for a while. Alright?
Mm-hmm. She nods, and she pretty much is willing to believe anything you say at this point.
Well, it's not as though there aren't dissociative disorders out there that
Yep.
you can pass this off as. So.
Well, she's going to have some. So, as you and Zach kind of talk a little more, before I forget, would everyone, including Anna, so Anna, Gabriella, Marcus, Brooke, and Jared, would you all write down somewhere on your sheet infected?
Aye.
There is no negative penalties, no layer traits, no tilts, no nothing going on you. Just write that down somewhere on your sheet.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Write down somewhere on your sheet infected.
Aye. Okay.
Anna too.
Yeah. Anyone who saw that green thing, basically.
Okay. Since I saw it through a scope, I didn't know if I'd be okay.
You didn't have to do the Clash of Wills to go insane, but you had the. So, what were you saying, Jared? You brought everyone together and you just kind of chit-chatting, and Zach kind of pipes up and he says, "Well, we did get him finally. Took months, but we got him. Now we just have to deal with these freaking blood dogs, whatever that means."
Are we gonna continue down this road? If so, we should invest in our longevity. I gotta butter some toast real quick, but basically, I'm bringing up the connection between Greenlight the drug and Greenlight the thing that just exploded out of his blood. Clearly, they aren't mutually exclusive things. It's possible that this drug is more than just something people get high off of. It could actually be weaponized in such a way.
Indeed. I mean, What have we these things we've codenamed Eddie? What have we found out about them?
We did this all yesterday.
Yeah, I know, but you know, now that we found out that the Colt and these are related, we gotta put our heads together and figure out what we can about these guys and stop them. I mean, you saw what they did yesterday. Freaking a. Can't we
I
can't be
have
we can't be having stuff like that just breaking the veil constantly. We have to keep some form of some form of societal order. Otherwise, things are going to get harder and harder and harder.
a few facts, and I have a Titanic guess that I can talk. So I can say them both separately, so we don't get confused. Just tell me if you want
Alright,
to
I'm
hear.
back. So, yeah, we have essentially a supernatural bioweapon on our hands if we're watching this essentially drug that gets in the blood explode out of this blood.
So, what do I know so far?
Well,
Seems like
you did get all the data from the computer, and that'll take some time to go through. But what you do know for sure is that there is something related to this green light. You're not sure what, but this could be related to why they were kidnapping people and doing all these experiments on them. Number two, you know that whatever they're doing is definitely, whether he was being truthful or not, is trying to disrupt the veil. In other words, from those of you who know about the veil, because you've been told about it by Section 9, is the layer between the reality and the spirit world, or the reality and some other world, needs to be maintained. Otherwise, if things start to leak through or bleed through, bad things can happen. So whatever they're trying to do, regardless of whether it has to do with old gods or a supposed machine or whatever, the bottom line is that this activity of the cultist and this whole business with Greenlight and the Blood Dogs, it's starting to bleed reality, or it's starting to bleed the veil. So this
If
does
they
need,
continue down this path, they're essentially unraveling reality.
right, and this does need to be stopped. So unless you guys enjoy a world that is more chaotic than one of Jared's layers, but you know.
have a few assumptions. I think whatever is causing it, I know that it seems that it is doing something with plasma, so it's coating the environment with plasma. So that makes me imagine that it might be something coming from the underworld or from ghostly interference. It seems like I was able to lift a curse, so that reinforces my line of thought. And since those guys are talking about a very, very old gods, I might be under the impression that this Cthulhu thing might be a chthonic god. So that's my guess, based on what my character knows about the underworld.
Yeah.
So she will just kind of share this and say that maybe she can stay for a little longer and help the other survivors to see if she will be able to lift the curse on them as well, kind of acting like a nurse, with the survivors. And that's her guess.
Brooke. Although this is not a complete and utter destruction, this is a flee. This will count towards your goal of killing the cultist.
I get a beat.
Yes.
Yay.
So everyone gets a beat for playing. Anna, you get 2 for playing, since you're mortal.
Are these cultists ultimately dealing with, like, is the temple thing just forgotten about, or is that, like, actually tying in with the cultists at some point?
It's, if you guys look it up, for those of you who are curious, this is actually a good thing you can do. When you look up information about the temple that some of you have been seeing, it's a real temple. It's in the Congo. It was the one that Francine was investigating, the guy who went there. Now, what you can determine is you guys know where this temple is. If you ever want to go investigate it down in the Congo, you may. And it is the temple that you guys have been seeing in your visions. So it is a place to investigate if you guys want more answers. And hold on a sec, I'll go ahead and stop the recording here. Thank you players for playing, thank you watchers for watching. I'll see you next time.